Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today and for including me in this panel. As was mentioned, my name is Siena Applebaum, and I'm going into my 4th year studying mechanical engineering at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. I wanted to start by talking a little bit about how I first heard about the Grand Challenges Scholars Program, why I decided to join the program, and why I chose my theme or the challenge that I want to address. So I initially was exposed to this program in my first month of my first year in university when I went to a workshop for a select group of engineering students in my school. There, we did an activity where we thought about how we could meet the 5 requirements of being a Grand Challenge Scholar, and we looked at the 14 different Grand Challenges and thought about which one of these challenges we specifically wanted to address. After leaving this workshop, I really wanted to join the program because I was excited by the opportunity to be a part of addressing some of the most pressing and important challenges that are facing our century and our generation. I was also excited by the opportunity of the program to have a more well-rounded engineering education and to be exposed and encouraged to pursue different types of opportunities to meet the 5 core requirements of the program. Then after leaving, the theme that I chose, or the grand challenge that I am working to work towards and address, is restoring and improving urban infrastructure. I chose this theme because I think that infrastructure, whether it's for water or for power or transportation, is so essential to the daily lives and well-being of every single person on the planet. I also think that good infrastructure and well-designed infrastructure can make for safe, beautiful, and sustainable urban environments that directly improve the daily lives of inhabitants. Over the course of my past 3 years in university, the Grand Challenge Scholars Program encouraged me to be a part of many different opportunities and experiences that played a huge role in my personal and my academic growth. As I previously mentioned, as part of the program, we are required to complete different activities that meet 5 core requirements. These requirements are talent or research, multidisciplinary education, multicultural education, entrepreneurship, and social consciousness. In the interest of time, I will talk about some of the involvements that I engaged in that meet some of these core requirements. So I'll just talk about 3 of them here. In my first semester, in my first year at university, I began working in the USC Combustion Physics Lab, where I conducted research on the propagation speed and behavior of hydrogen edge flames at different stoichiometric mixture fractions. Then, in my sophomore year, we published a paper, and I presented my research and my findings at the Combustion Institute Conference in Bend, Oregon. This research and our work can be used to make hydrogen fuel more effective, and this has exciting implications for transportation infrastructure because hydrogen fuel is cleaner than more common alternatives. The next experience I want to talk about addresses the multicultural educational goal of the Grand Challenge program. After my freshman year, or my first year at university, I studied abroad in Rome. There, I was exposed to a completely new culture and a completely new set of people. As well as taking engineering classes in Rome, I also took a class called The Layers of Rome, where we studied the layers and the evolution of the infrastructure in the city over the past 2,000 years. The next experience I want to talk about addresses the entrepreneurship core competency of the program. Last year, a group of 4 of my peers and myself created a device that we called Marlink, which improves wireless underwater communication and can improve the communication between operators and autonomous underwater vehicles. We hope that a device like this can help improve the monitoring of the millions of dollars of underwater infrastructure that exists throughout the globe. For example, it can help with the monitoring of oil pipelines and oil rigs, and potentially prevent catastrophes such as oil spills. With this startup idea, my team and I participated in 4 entrepreneurship competitions, and over the course of these competitions, we learned so much about what it takes to bring a product and a startup from conception to reality, and the starting steps it takes to start a new company. Kind of a fun update about Marlink is that one of the 4 competitions we participated in was actually the Western Regional Global Grand Challenges competition in Irvine in April. We were one of the 3 teams to continue past the Western competition, and we will now be competing in the international competition at the Global Grand Challenges Summit in London this September. The next experience I wanted to talk about is probably one of the most impactful and important opportunities that I believe I engaged in over the course of my past 3 years at university. I was encouraged to apply to this program because of the Grand Challenges Scholars Program. So I was involved in a program called Innovation in Engineering Design for the Refugee Crisis. In this program, we were split up into teams of 5 students, and each team was tasked with coming up with an invention or an innovation or solution to help address the problems faced by refugees. Each team was very interdisciplinary. For example, my team, as well as having myself, also had an architecture major and a business major, a public policy major, and a bioengineering major. As part of the program, in order to create informed and meaningful solutions, a small group of us, myself included, traveled for 2 weeks to Greece and to the island of Lesbos to visit 2 refugee camps. There, we conducted user research and interacted with the local population to better understand the areas in which we could make the biggest impact and to better understand the biggest problems that people were facing. In addition, while we were there, we volunteered at 2 of the refugee camps. For example, you can see in the top photo, we went to the unaccompanied minors section in Moria refugee camp, and we worked with the children to paint their outer structures that they lived in with bright and happy scenes that the children picked. After coming back from this experience, coming back from Greece, and coming back from witnessing the danger, disease, and discomfort that we saw associated with a lack of adequate showering facilities, my team decided that this is the problem we wanted to address. So coming back over the next year, we worked towards prototyping, working with different suppliers, continuing to speak every day with our partners in Lesbos and in Greece, failing and iterating countless times over and over again, and we finally ended up creating a product that we called WeWash, which, as you can see in, I believe, the right corner, it's a very simple, very low-cost, modular personal shower for refugees. After wrapping up our design and our fabrication of this type of system, we passed along our designs and our business plan to one of the partnerships that we made in Lesbos called Shower Power. I wanted to talk about this experience because I think that it was truly unique in that I was working towards the grand challenge that I want to address, and it also really encompassed all 5 of the core competencies of this program. It involved research, multidisciplinary education and collaboration, entrepreneurship, multicultural experience, and social consciousness or service learning. As you can tell, I was so influenced by my experience in the Grand Challenges program, and I think the opportunities and experiences I had in this program really taught me my love of product design, specifically for products that affect the daily lives of their users. It is for this reason that I interned for Microsoft, and I actually just finished up my last day there this past Friday, so less than a week ago. And starting this January, I will be working at Apple on the Mac product design team. In addition, I think this program, the Grand Challenges program, also taught me that I cannot be fulfilled in my career if I'm not also working towards a goal that is global and socially conscious as well. For this reason, in addition to working at Microsoft, I was also working on an app called Safar, which is an information aggregator that provides refugees with the resources that are available to them when they first enter a refugee camp. In addition, while I was at Microsoft, I created an event for other interns called Dream Job and Side Job. So I brought in 5 full-time Microsoft employees that also had nonprofits or socially conscious startups on the side. And they talked about their experience balancing their industry careers as well as their passions and their socially conscious goals. I hoped that this event can encourage my peers to also pursue their industry careers in whatever projects really fulfill them and fulfill their passions. I have benefited so much from this well-rounded educational experience I received from the program, and I really hope that other students throughout the globe can receive a similar type of experience. Some of the ideas that I have for promoting this program globally are representing at different conferences throughout the world. For example, these organizations that I listed, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, Society of Women Engineers, and National Society of Black Engineers, have different conferences throughout the year, and by tabling and representing at these conferences, perhaps we can empower local educators and students that are attending the conferences to bring this program back to their own institutions. I also think it's a good idea to expose a broader range of students to this program. For example, at my university last semester, we exposed a class of middle school students to the 14 Grand Challenges and to the idea of having a more well-rounded and more comprehensive engineering education. I think it's a good idea to start exposing students to this type of learning as early as possible so they can be aware of that going into higher education and be aware of taking advantage of these type of courses and programs and opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Siena, for sharing with us your experience. The questions will be at the end of this section.